Okay, Peter.
All right, it's 1 minute after 7, so I'll call to order the Town of Paxton Select Board meeting for Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. We're in the training room of the Public Safety Complex and, of course, on Zoom as well. Just a quick note that at the end of the meeting, we will be leaving the regular meeting and going into executive session for two items. First one is pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21(3), and that's to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining. If an open meeting may have a detriment effect on bargaining position of the public body and the chair so declares, the chair has declared. And that's regarding our police union. And then the second one is regarding Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21(3) as well. And that one is to review and approve, hopefully, the executive meeting minutes of September 22nd, 2025. All right, first up, we've got our consent items here. If I can get my computer to work, there we go. Number one, approve the meeting minutes from the regular meeting held September 22nd, 2025. Number two, approve the interim town administrator's appointment of Mark Morrissey to a part-time public safety officer and Mark Bellevue to a part-time per diem officer effective October 6th, 2025. Number three is to accept the resignation of Jennifer Bridgers from the Board of Registrars effective September 29th, 2025. Number four, approve the relocation of the special town meeting scheduled for December 1st, 2025 from Paxton Center School to the Zecco Auditorium at Anna Maria College. Number five, appoint Pam Cardaci to the Board of Registrars with a term end date of March 31st, 2026. Number six, appoint Tom Potkin to the Anna Maria Scholarship Committee with a term end date of June 30th, 2026. Number seven, approve a one-day liquor license request from Anna Maria College for October 30th, 20,256. I think that's supposed to be 2025, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. for their Oktoberfest celebration. And number eight, boy, they've really got that in ahead of time, huh?
Yeah.
That's impressive. About 18,000 years. Number eight, accept the resignation of Francis LaFlash from the COA board effective October 8th, 2025. Is there any discussion on any of the consent items?
I have two brief changes to the minutes.
Probably the same ones that I've already made.
Okay. Do you want to hear?
One of them you better have gotten.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
We'll see, won't we? So under approving stormwater abatement application, which is page 2, second paragraph up from the bottom, the motion, JP seconded Carol Riches to approve the stormwater abatement application as presented. I would say as amended, not as presented. And the other one is on the 2 pages later, under special town election results and next steps, second bullet point, second line, in terms of the assistants, should be assistants, like the plural of assistant.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, so the one that I got that you should have gotten was the second page, second bullet from the bottom. First of all, it says has town council, and we had to respell council. But underneath that, Mike Pinchatori, the name is spelled wrong.
Oh, I did pick up on that, but I wasn't going to be that picky.
Well, I figured that one.
Yes, I did see that one.
Just saying, that's one you should have seen. All right, other than those small corrections, any other discussion on the consent items?
None.
No.
Carol?
No.
Kirk?
No.
All right, hearing none, we'll consider those passed. All right, next up, Mike Pinchatori is going to report on the latest fire department grant received for new turnout gear for our firefighters. Actually, might as well go over both while you're up, and then you're also going to give us a report.
Thank you.
I'll start off with the report, if you don't mind.
You've got the floor for a while, so that's fine, sir.
Microphones everywhere. I think I got the right one. All right. Good evening. Mike Pinjatori, Fire Chief. So I want to thank the chair for letting me kind of update the public here tonight on a couple of things. First, we're going to just update the public on the operations of the fire department for the first quarter of FY26. I know this is something we normally don't do, but I kind of really wanted to start doing this because I think a lot of times the only time people really hear from me is budget season. And I think it's good to get out here and give the public, the select board, finance chair, capital vice chair, a good overview of what's going on in the last 3 months here. So the last 3 months since July 1st, Paxton Fire Department's responded to 354 calls. Don't go by the data sheet that's attached to this because there's 18 calls sitting on the captain's desk right now that haven't made it into our RMS system, and I'll get into that in a second. This call volume is slightly higher than the last few years, though it remains difficult to forecast accurately, obviously during budget planning, when I'm up here usually saying what I need for next fiscal year. And being a majority call department, that can drive our compensation line item a little higher, depending on where the calls come in. But despite any little staffing challenge that we have, the department continues to operate effectively and morale remains high. As far as staffing, we are currently operating with 2 full-time paramedics on our staff. We should have 4 full-time paramedics. 2 left the system last year for other departments. We are still searching for them, for their replacements. If anybody knows any paramedics that are looking for jobs, we are currently hiring at least 1, and we are hopeful that we will hire that 3rd full-time medic to restore our staffing levels, hopefully by next month. In the meantime, however, with those vacancies, our overtime usage does increase to maintain this coverage. So our recruitment efforts are turning to new call members and part-time staff, and we'll be getting underway with that soon as well. Hopefully, we'll be recalling some of the call members and part-time members that we laid off last fiscal year. As far as the financials are concerned with the department is on track with its budget and typical expenditure patterns. As of this report, we are just over 25% in expenses, which is appropriate. We are just wrapping up the first quarter, and payroll remains the largest expense as expected. Equipment and maintenance, we are seeing a slight uptick in repair costs. We were down our mechanic for about a month due to illness. He's also a firefighter EMT, so we had, shifts that had to be backfilled as well. So we had to send our 3 apparatus out for PMs, which we normally don't do. They're all due in September. But the expense wasn't terrible. Our biggest issue is our oldest truck, Ladder 1. It has right now a bad oil pump in the motor, and the water pump on it has failed its pump test back in the end of September. So we're looking to get quotes for that work right now. First quote that came in from Perkins out of New Hampshire, if anybody's familiar with them. They're the foremost expert in fire pumps. It was about $33,000. So we're going to see if we can't get that number down a bit more to get the truck back frontline. And then Engine 3, our newest truck, is out this week at Bulldog in Hopkinton. That's the dealership. It's there for scheduled warranty work and some punch list items that we found over the course of the last year with the truck. So those are really the big updates affecting that. On the administrative side, excuse me while I save this keyboard. On the administrative side, things are a little slower. I kind of touched on that a little while ago with the reports. They've been slower than ideal, and the processing of fire inspections, payroll, and reports have been impacted by a lack of an administrative assistant. So myself and my captain are the administrative assistants, and we're still responding to calls and our normal day-to-day as well. The hope is as we go through the year here, is to potentially combine this position with another firefighter EMT, so we can improve efficiency and coverage in that position as well. The strain is a little bit noticeable with it, but we are managing, and we'll get through as we get through this day-to-day. Our goal was to share the town services coordinator. That hasn't really been the case. Jeff has been learning that job day in and day out, and it is an extensive job, especially with the MBTA zoning stuff going on right now, for him to break away. He does help us on occasion, time to time, but not as much as I was kind of hoping we would have him there for. But hopefully we'll get that back and get on track. Any questions about that update for the department?
No.
Good. All right.
Kirk?
I don't have any questions. Thanks for patching together and working so hard to try to just make it all work.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
thank you. Thank you. And then I'll update you on the big news, on the really good news, not that anything was really bad. Our department went in on a regional grant back last November with the town of Ocam, with their fire department, to replace turnout gear. I got word back on September 24th from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the agency that administers this grant, that we did in fact hit the grant. It's for $168,000. It is to replace 24 sets of turnout gear for the town of Paxton. The town of Paxton is the host community for this grant. So our federal share, so the federal money we'll be getting for this is $160,000. This is a matching grant, so we got to come up with a 5%, which is about $8,000, and that's split between Paxton and Ocam. So Paxton will shoulder $5,000 of that, Ocam will shoulder $3,000. The funding will allow for the purchase of 40 complete sets for both towns. So like I said, 24 sets to Paxton and 16 sets to Ocam. And each set includes a helmet, 2 hoods, coat, pants, boots, and 2 pairs of gloves. FEMA has set the cost for each of the sets of gear at $4,200. So with that, we are, doing our due diligence as to see who can meet that price. It is a bit low, especially for the specs that we have for our gear, but we hope to get that accomplished and get the full 24 sets. So that's it on the FEMA grant. Any questions on that?
Of the 168,
Yeah.
how much does Paxton receive that? I get the ratio, but do you have the dollar amount?
100,000. Yep. Paxton has $100,000 out of that. I think it's like 105, but that 5,000.
That's what we're contributing.
What's up?
That 5,000 is what we're contributing
Yep,
anyways.
Yep. Yep.
Any other questions? No.
Good. Okay. And then the gift from Light Shift, you want to talk about that as well?
Yeah.
All right. And then on top of that, we did receive a gift from Light Shift Energy. And this is going to replace 16 sets of brush gear. So Light Shift, for those of you who don't know, they're in a partnership with the Light Department, and they put a battery energy storage system down at the substation, excuse me, as I trip over these words, down on Marshall Street. A lot of S's, a lot of sounds there that got me. So that's about $10,000. They got us the check a couple of weeks ago, and so we're right now in the process of getting the quotes and hopefully awarding that shortly. So, questions?
No, it's just nice to see us going outside and finding other funds as well to help supplement. I compliment you and you guys for putting that together.
Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Anybody else?
Absolutely.
That's a heck of an effort, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
All right, thank you.
no problem.
Thanks, Mike.
And staying along the same lines, Sergeant Thorpe is present.
Good evening.
Good evening, welcome.
Sergeant Thorpe of the Police Department. Thanks for having me tonight. So just giving an update on our grant awards this month here. So as every year, we get notified from the Office of Grants and Research from the state of available grants in law enforcement. We've been very active in the grants over the last few years and getting equipment and overtime reimbursement costs. So this fiscal year, we were awarded 2 separate grants through OGR. The first is the Municipal Road Safety Grant Program. We've run this for the last 5 years. This covers 216 hours of traffic enforcement. That's overtime for extra officers on patrol, conducting traffic enforcement, writing tickets, stopping cars. They also have 32 hours of crosswalk and pedestrian enforcement. We run one decoy officer. It's an officer in plain clothes that's walking the crosswalks, and a uniformed officer stopping cars for violations. This grant's also covering 2 new portable breath test machines. Those are roadside alcohol impairment machines. Our current equipment's aging pretty well over the last few years, so having 2 new pieces of equipment will help us greatly in that. And then also along with this grant, they cover our non-enforcement activities. I have a youth bike rodeo we run every year, usually around the Paxton Days Festival. That covers the officer's overtime. That also covers for bicycle helmets, reflectors, coloring books, lights for bikes and all that. We also have 2 separate programs at Anna Maria College. We run the Fatal Vision program, which if anybody's seen drunk goggles, they're actual goggles that impair your vision, and there are different sensitivities to go along with blood alcohol content. We partner with their resident life staff each semester. The last semester we had the kids tried shooting hoops with them. As you can tell, that probably didn't go too well. And then the semester before that, they had an inflatable obstacle course. The kids tried to race each other through those, and that didn't go well either. So along with the fun activities, there is some learning with the costs and issues with alcohol impairment and the consequences if caught by that. And so there's a little both sides of the table with that. Our second grant that we were awarded is the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant. Now that covers technology and equipment for the department. We've been, again, lucky over the last few years with this particular grant in upgrading a lot of the equipment in the station and the patrol cars. So this year we were awarded new mobile data terminals, which is just the computers inside the cruisers. So we'll be getting 4 brand new ones of those. We'll be getting, hopefully, we were cut a little bit in funding through this from what I applied for, but we're working with Motorola for another license plate reader for replacing an older model on one of the patrol cars, and finishing the desktop computer program in the station. So we have 4 computers left to do after our last grant, and those will be covered and replaced through this. So that was a total of $30,000 on the Byrne grant and $21,900 on the MRS. So that again, that helps us greatly in overtime costs and replacing equipment that we wouldn't normally be replacing. And again, with all these grants over the last few years, that's a total of just over $325,000 just in the past 5 or 6 years or so of just available grants out there for us to take advantage of.
Congratulations on, congratulations on securing them.
Yeah.
That's outstanding.
Yep.
You know, seeing both departments in this building going out and seeking outside money to help supplement their budget is outstanding and very much appreciated. So congratulations to both of you.
Absolutely.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how much the amount is. You still have to put the same amount of work in. So
Yeah.
appreciate all the grants that you can get.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And staying on the police side, Chief?
Good evening, Mark Savasta, Chief of Police. I'd just like to also capitalize on Sergeant Thorpe. For the last 5 years, he's taken on the initiative to find the grants, locate the grants, and write the grants. So amongst all the other things I drop on him, he has still found the time to get those grants for the town and save us a substantial amount of money, get us the equipment that we need. So thank you, Sergeant Thorpe. Today I'm asking for the ability to increase my part-time public safety officers' pay. Currently, they're at $22.50, and we are not keeping up with the costs for those positions. It's no cost to the town. Those officers are assigned to the college, so the college will be picking up the cost for that. I'm asking to bump their pay up to $2.50 to make it $25. As you can see, I had two get appointed tonight. I'm down to 3 public safety officers. I'm supposed to have 6. And right now, my current staffing level for full-time officers is at 10, including myself. Supposed to have 16, but through budget cuts and vacancies and sickness, we are operating with a 10-man department. That's to cover the town and the college. So these extra 2 officers will be greatly used. If you don't know, Verizon is running fiber in this town. So to strain the department even more, we have to cover 10 details a day. So that being said, officers are working doubles every day. The details got to get filled. Every town is busy. Our guys are really stepping up. It's extra money, but it's also extra work and time away from their families. So these 2 officers will be able to be utilized on details to take some of the burden off the rest of us. So I'm hoping that you will approve that recommendation, and you can bump their pay up. It'll be a nice little perk for them too, because they have been working extra with the shortage up at the college. So that is all I have to say on that.
Any questions for the chief?
No, just a comment that, we certainly want to make sure that we retain them. So I'd suggest that we do as Mark is suggesting.
Well, then I would assume there's a motion on its way.
I move that we go ahead and increase the pay of the part-time public safety officers to $25 an hour.
Second.
Any further discussion? Kirk, anything?
I'm in favor.
All those in favor then, Julia,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Carol,
Aye.
Kirk,
All right.
and the chair votes aye. Thank you, chief.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Finally, I'm going to need a motion to approve the amendment number 1 to the employment agreement between the town of Paxton and the chief of police.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion regarding this amendment?
No.
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 Kirk, any discussion?
No, sir.
Hearing none. All those in favor, Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Next, I need a motion to open the warrant for the special town meeting, which is going to be held December 1st, 2025, and as you heard earlier tonight, at Anna Maria College.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on opening the warrant? Hearing none. Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. All right, next, we have to approve the agreement with the Paxton Municipal Light Department for stormwater billing. If you remember, there were some changes that we had recommended and that were made regarding the agreement with the Paxton Municipal Light Department. So I just have one quick question, just to make sure it's accurate. On number 3, where it says date entry, is that supposed to be date entry or is that supposed to be data entry? It may very well be date. I don't know how the billing is done over there. I just want to make sure that it's accurate. Number 3, second paragraph.
Oh, I see it.
Is that supposed to be date or is it supposed to be?
I think it's probably supposed to be data.
Data, okay, so we just have to make that change.
Well, this came from the light department.
Well,
Yeah.
but either way, it's
Yeah.
got to, the change is going to get made. Other than that, that's a spelling thing. I didn't see anything else in here that was of issue.
No, it looked quite straightforward.
Yeah, and I read it over pretty carefully. I didn't see anything. It looks like exactly what we had discussed, the changes that we had made. So then may I have a motion then to go ahead and sign the agreement with the Paxton Municipal Light Department.
I move that we approve the agreement with the Paxton Municipal Light Department and allow Peter as chair to sign the agreement.
Very good.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor. Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. All right, now the big one. We got to set the date and time for trick or treats. I'm going to allow you guys to kick this off. I made it clear to Donna and Rob how I feel about Halloween and everything related to it. Would anybody like to make a motion or kick off the discussion?
Looks like Halloween's on a Friday this year, so
It is.
I move, because we do typically allow trick-or-treating to occur on the day of Halloween as opposed to moving it to a weekend, so I'm going to move that we allow trick-or-treating on Friday, October 31st, between the hours of 5 p.m. and 8 p.m.
Second.
3 hours.
That's a lot of candy.
It's a lot of dog barking.
Yeah.
That's a lot of dental work.
3 hours. All right.
Same as always.
Any other, I know that's what we've done in the past.
That's what we always do.
That's what
I
I always
know,
do.
but 3 hours. All right, and
Come on, Peter, you getting old or what?
hate Halloween.
My wife.
It's the one, think about it, you spend all year telling kids you don't accept candy from strangers, and then one night we dress them up so that nobody can recognize them, send them out door to door to strangers' homes begging for candy. Yeah, it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
No.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor. Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
And the Scrooge votes aye.
I don't think Scrooge was necessary, thank you, but it's understood.
Come on, laugh a little.
All right, finally, we have to award the FY 26-27 all-wheel dump truck with all-season body to Ballard Truck, I believe it was. I just want to make sure I get this correct.
Ballard Mac. Yeah.
There it is. It is. It's to Ballard Truck, and of course that's for. Oh, we have a mouse that's joined us this evening.
We do have a friend.
You
Yeah.
got to go sign up.
He's here for citizen speak.
I told him he's got to go sign up. Well, you never know what you're going to see. Anyways, we're awarding that to Ballard Truck, and that's for the sum of $60,000. Meg, May I get a motion?
I'm going to make a motion for discussion. I'll move that we award the bid to Ballard Truck for the $60,000 dump truck.
Okay.
Second.
All right. Any discussion other than this little guy might have something?
Might have something to say.
I just want to point out, this is a nearly 20-year-old truck. I did talk to Travis about it this afternoon, about ensuring that the truck is operationally safe and meets, his and his mechanics' stringent requirements, so that it doesn't become a maintenance issue going forward, because certainly the cost of any piece of capital equipment is not only the cost of purchasing it, but the cost to maintain it going forward. And he assured me that he will make sure that the truck is operationally sound and safe before purchase.
Yeah, it's hard because on a truck like that, it's not necessarily the miles. It's only got 30,000 miles on it.
Right.
But who knows how many hours, and, well, I'm sure it's on there,
Yeah,
and what those miles look like.
yeah. And the good news is it does have an all-season body on it, so I think that's helpful. I don't know the history of the truck. I did try and look it up, but I'm not sure how much of that information is currently available, but
Right.
I'm sure that Travis will make sure that all of the I's are dotted and T's are crossed before going forward.
Is that truck set up to plow as well?
I don't know the answer to that, Kirk. My assumption is that because he wanted a delivery date by December 1st, is that he intends to use it to plow. I don't know if it comes with a plow or not.
Okay, thank you.
But it will at some point be equipped. Any other discussion? No. Hearing none. All in favor? Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. All right, finally, old business. And that's to review and approve the final building use guidelines for the senior center. We had received a copy, but then we got a new markup.
Yep. So I reviewed this with Cindy today because there was a couple of things that I wanted to make sure we included. I also wanted to talk to her about our current access with the building on the code keypad system. And so we talked about the policy. One thing I wanted to make sure that we pointed out was that it's currently on senior center letterhead. I think we should maintain some consistency with our other building use policy and make sure that it's on town of Paxton letterhead and administered by the select board, as it is a public building, which would be under the purview of the select board. I also think that it's unfair to ask Cindy to administer the policy, which could receive complaints at some point that she may or may not feel comfortable handling. So she was in agreement with that. I think she hoped, she is here.
Oh, I am here.
I was going to say, I think she hoped to be here, but we're running a little bit ahead of schedule. And we discussed a few other changes, including asking that folks refrain from accessing the senior center simply because they have the code outside of normal open hours. So that's been added. We talked about, the priority of booking, which we had talked about at the last meeting, where senior center activities would get prioritized, followed by town boards and committees, followed by outside groups. And to that end, we do, there would be some confusion, or I anticipate some confusion would occur if some groups booked the room well in advance, and then we ended up finding out that, the senior center needs to have the room available for one of their activities, and then you end up kicking one person out. It just becomes, I think, a frustration point. And so we talked about how long in advance Cindy would potentially know that she would be using the rooms, and she typically knows a couple of months in advance. And so we felt it was reasonable to say that we'd ask that people book the room no greater than 60 days in advance to try to avoid that issue. So upon booking, the executive assistant will provide the entry code to the responsible person, and then the rest of it is pretty much the same. The only other major difference was just that we softened the language a little bit around the director's office and kitchen being off limits and just simply said, please note the director's office and kitchen are reserved for use by COA staff only. Anything else?
No, I don't think you missed anything. I think you touched on every aspect. I was just checking to see you, and you did put it in where no one would have access to the building unless they were scheduled for a meeting or.
Right. If you've booked the building, was one of the concerns that Cindy had was people just simply having the code because they had previously booked space and then stopping in after hours to drop something off or what have you, which is certainly, although we haven't had an issue, does raise some concern for security. So we're asking now that people refrain from accessing the building unless they are scheduled to be there or unless it's during normal operating hours.
Well, with,
Julie, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can I just kind of voice real quick?
Yeah.
The groups that typically do use that building outside of the boards and the committees, so you've got typically the Girl Scouts, the Garden Club, the Women's Club.
Yeah.
A lot of them, knowing the situation, have pretty much almost kind of booked through next spring with me already. So they're kind of established.
Yeah.
So this way, they're on the shared calendar that we already have. I've asked them that prior to their meeting coming in, to just touch base with me to get the code for the evening.
Yeah.
So a lot of those groups are already booked much more than 60 days out at this point.
I think anything that's already booked, you're not gonna, there's no point in changing.
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think to help alleviate any confusion, as you know, I give you advance notice when we're having something big that's going to take a few days.
Absolutely.
But we also talked about, say, Thanksgiving's coming up. Our dates have just been changed to a Tuesday, so that room has to be set up Monday. So if I give you ample time in advance that room, especially the dining room, because it's set up for special functions, give you the heads up.
Absolutely, because I make every group aware of the fact that even though we've booked these for so many months out, that the boards and the committees take precedence. So they're fully aware that it could be 48 hours beforehand, and they might be told, sorry.
Just so, especially more so the dining room, because even, as you know, the activity room, Scott sets up.
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
very fortunate to have them, that even if they move the room, as long as they put the room as they found it, would be extremely helpful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They're all.
So especially at Thanksgiving, they just switched it a week earlier, so I'll just send you those dates, so
All good.
it shouldn't be a problem.
Perfect.
So that might be helpful.
No worries.
There's a certain amount of balancing priorities.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It is difficult.
One thing I did want to mention, which we talked about a little bit today, was the use of the key code access. In my opinion, so that particular unit, my understanding is it only supports one code at a time. And so what we're doing is we're changing that code periodically. But at the time that the code gets changed, as soon as somebody has it, I think it makes its way through the community pretty quickly. And so in my opinion, that's actually less secure than the keys used to be.
I thought those could handle more than one code.
Not that door. We haven't figured it out.
Oh, the side door?
The front door.
Oh,
the
gotcha,
door
gotcha.
we enter.
Okay.
There's a master code, but I think what we're trying to achieve is either have a master code for, especially for myself, police, fire, and whoever needs to access that building. But your idea that you spoke about the key and
Yeah, I think ideally we're changing that key for each meeting, right? And so, and then that key would be time limited. So that's what I can do on my house, right? So if I have Susie, whoever, coming to cat sit or whatever, I can give her a code that I set up remotely. She can get in, and then I can cancel her access afterwards, or I can set it to automatically expire. And if we're really concerned about, making sure that that building is secure, I'd suggest that we look into something along those lines. Whether the current keypad is capable of that, that'd be great. If it's not capable of that, then what would it require to do something like that? I can tell you the one that I have at home cost about $250. It's not a big lift in order to make that work if the one that we have doesn't actually support that functionality. But the way it currently is working, that I've experienced it myself a couple of times where people have asked me for the code or, what have you, and I hear it through a lot of the boards and committees and whatnot. That code is pretty easily shared. And because it's so easily shared, in fact, more easily shared than a key, then it's actually less secure than having a key.
And we're actually defeating our purpose. So I do
Right.
like your idea, Julia, of that concept.
Yeah.
The door. Because that door pad went in when the ADA door went in. So it was the
Yeah.
contractor's decision what to install, which at that time, it sounded great.
Right.
But I think the way it's occurring now, you might as well have the door open 24 hours.
Right. Right.
Hate to say it, but.
Yeah. So again, not that it's actually resulted in any kind of an incident, and I wouldn't expect it to, because all of the boards and committees and individuals that use this are upstanding individuals, and we've never had a problem. However, you're not doing due diligence if you're not managing that risk.
I'm happy to look into the lock. We spoke about possibly calling Keola if someone else has a better idea or where to go. But
Right.
I can call
Puritan,
them
yeah.
too. And if you could send me the information at least of what you have.
Yeah, sure.
Then I can call Keola again. Not Keola, excuse
Puritan.
me. Puritan, excuse me. Not, I don't think Keola's in business anymore, but Puritan Lock, because they're actually the ones that came when we had a problem trying to change the current door lock. They had to reset the lock and so on and so forth. So I can have them certainly come out if that's acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay. So with the changes that you sent out then, let's vote on this at the next meeting
Okay.
so that it can be included with the meeting materials. And then we can each read it as well. Thank you for your work, both of you, on making those changes. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, we do not have any correspondence, so we are up to our town administrator's update.
Great, thank you. So I actually have some exciting news tonight. Tiffany has earned the Massachusetts Certified Public Purchasing Official designation.
Yay.
So that is a very difficult designation to achieve. The training for this is very hard, so we are very impressed with Tiffany going through that and achieving this, very nice designation. And as we've heard with the bids that have gone out, it's definitely one that we need here in Paxton.
Excellent.
So she has been a very helpful resource for us all. Speaking of resources, we now have a new principal assessor. She will be starting next week. So we are very happy to have Diane join us. She has a lot of experience as a principal assessor, and I have no doubt that she will hit the ground running and be a very valuable asset to our town.
Great.
We have also hired assistant town clerk. So Sam has started with us. He actually started last Saturday, was in again today, and is absorbing all the new rules and regulations that come with the town clerk position, and he has done a phenomenal job so far, and we're very encouraged by his customer service skills too, which are paramount in the town hall.
Lori must be thrilled.
Yes, Lori is thrilled.
Good.
And then I wanted to give a big thank you to Roberta and Neil for their work on the MBTA. It's incredible going to these presentations and just everything that they've been doing around it to try to get the word out. So it's greatly appreciated. I mean, when I got the news today that your survey is over 140 responses,
Correct.
That's very encouraging.
We
So-
need more. We
Yes.
need more. So if you haven't taken the survey,
Exactly. We're not happy with the 140. Obviously, we have a lot more residents in town, but that's a great start. And it's definitely very encouraging to see. And that is definitely in part to Neil and Roberta's efforts. So we really appreciate that. And also with the Charter Review Committee, I've been lucky enough to go to their past two meetings, and I'm very encouraged by how diligent they are with every word, line in the charter, so they're not taking it lightly. They are really going through the preamble, intro, all the articles. So they're really trying to embody the voice of everyone from Paxton, and they're taking their job very seriously, which is very encouraging to see. So I've been very happy with all the boards and committees that I've been able to attend so far, and it's just incredible to see what the people of Paxton do for our town, and just how everyone can come together and really move things ahead. So same going to COA events with Cindy. Have been very well received, and it's just great to see our seniors being taken care of and really making them feel like valued members of the town, and getting their input and feedback is incredible. So I look forward to coming down and seeing you a lot more. And I do just want to plug our cornhole and collaboration one last time. So October 25th, 4 to 7, Sauger Asylum. Please go down there. There's an opportunity to meet everyone in town. You can talk about whatever topics you would like. We're going to actually have name tags on that will designate who's a town official, who is like a business in town, who's a resident. So it'll be very easy to distinguish who you want to talk to, maybe who you want to avoid, but there's definitely some room for collaboration, and can show off your cornhole skills too. So hope to see everyone there.
Terrific. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Neil, thank you for your work on that.
Thank you. Roberta's done the lion's share. She's rowing the boat. So,
All right, next up, citizen speak.
Mark Love.
To check off first? I'll be happy to go first. I want to, if you don't mind, circle back to the bid award that was just given out to a Ballard for the dump truck. I had asked to be recognized, and maybe I wasn't in your last sight of line to do that, but I want to go on record in terms of what I am about to ask does not take away whatsoever in favoring and supporting the acquisition of a new dump truck. I think mention was made that it was a 20-year-old used dump truck, and for those that attention that caught, I would submit to you that it's replacing a 40-year-old dump truck that's in complete, total disrepair. And the reason that I'm raising any points at all is I'm confused by the process that we went through. And it's a 24-page request for proposal or invitation for bids. But the CIPC committee recommended in its committee report to the select board back in May the acquisition of a number of vehicles for DPW. We recommended as much as $225,000 to enter into the used municipal vehicle market, because there was need for actually more than just the dump truck, even though that was principal and priority number one. The decision by the select board was not to go forward with that at the annual town meeting. And now there's been an award of $60,000 for a dump truck, which we applaud, but what's the process that it went through, or what's the process that it should have gone through to advise the CIPC committee of it? And secondly, in the 24-page report, there's mention that it'll be paid out of funds available as determined by the town administrator and the town accountant, two competent people, but it would seem that there'd be other guardrails other than that. It also goes on to say that the funding of it will come out of current funds, which is code for operating funds, which is code for the operating budget, of which it's not in the operating budget. So I'm missing a piece. As much as I support the acquisition, I'm missing a piece as to the process that might better have been followed, and where's the funding coming from?
So you were here for that part. I'm gonna let you to address it because I got lost in the code 4, and so you're gonna have to help us with the codes.
Okay. So I did speak with Travis today, and he let me know that this is being paid for out of DOT funding, Chapter 90 funding. And so that was my understanding, one of the requests of the capital improvement.
It was indeed, yes.
So I believe that this is still in line with what capital had recommended, which is part of the reason why I wanted to approve it. And I anticipated that you would have these questions, so I did ask them, anticipating that they would come up tonight. So it is Chapter 90 funding, which is at the discretion of the DPW director. Thank you.
Correct, which is voted on by, well, actually, it's voted at town meeting.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I want to add to that. We championed the use of those particular funds, so it's nice to hear that that's ultimately the avenue that was traveled. So I guess the point is that maybe an alert to the CIPC, maybe the calling of a meeting to apprise us, because I'm not here officially representing them, but I'm not going to lie to you that others communicated in terms of what did they miss, what's up, who's on first. So you backfilled some of the information. It's all good news. Again, I don't want the questions to suggest anything other than our unconditional support, long overdue. Probably should have been done 2 or 3 years ago. So we're happy to hear that it's being done for this winter season.
If I can just add one thing, I'm sure that if you asked Travis if he would prefer to fund vehicles in this manner, he would say no.
Last resort.
It is a funding source of last resort, exactly, Carol. And, it is what it is, right? That we don't have a lot of funding right now, but he is in dire need of a dump truck. So he did find a used dump truck, which, hopefully will show some longevity in line with the amount that's being paid for it. But ultimately, this is not how we want to fund vehicle equipment purchases in the future if we can help it. But where we were and the position that we're currently in, it certainly makes sense for him to choose to do that.
Very good. Thank you.
So revenue is source of last resort, but we're at the last resort. So I
Correct.
think,
That's what Julia's saying.
right.
All right.
Robert?
Oh, I will just keep the CIPC apprised of future acquisitions.
Thank you. Donna, who's next?
Neil?
Thank you. So one more question. CIPC, there was, I think at the last meeting, you indicated that somebody had been appointed from the assessors
Correct,
board.
Matt Higgins.
But I think it has to come before the select board to officially be appointed. That's what I was actually waiting for, and am I incorrect in that regard? I think they have to be appointed.
So it's an ex officio member, right? So I believe
No, it's a full member, full voting.
Still a voting member.
full voting, but it's ex officio, meaning it's a product of the position that they sit in.
Yeah, of the Board of Assessors.
Yeah.
But generally, I think it still comes before the board.
But I think I think it would probably be better to have it still come before the board for
And they haven't met
appointment.
yet anyway, so.
Right.
Okay.
So we'll put that.
Get that on the 20th.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
put that on the next agenda on the consent items.
Thank you.
I just thought we were waiting for it to come forward, that's all.
Thank you. All right, we'll use this one. Thank you. A couple of things. First of all, I want to follow up with what Robert brought up about the MBTA communities thing. We're in the home stretch. We're literally at we're beyond 7th inning stretch, but we're not at the 9th inning yet. We're very close. Along those lines, I wanted to personally thank Roberta publicly, and I'll do it again at the special town meeting. She has done an incredible amount of work. Growing up in a family where my mom worked, I remember statements being made that if you have something that needs to be done, give it to the busiest person you know, or the person that's doing the most, and she has just exemplified that to the nth degree. Getting 2 kids off to college and all this stuff with her work in Worcester and all of this stuff, she has been available with unlimited call. I would also like to follow up on the cornhole event that's coming, because we will be there as just information purposes. If anybody has questions at that point, we have had 140 responses to the survey, and I'm going to kind of put you all on the spot. Have you all filled out your surveys?
I did.
Okay,
Can I do it
one.
again, though?
Okay, oh, that's one. There's
No, not yet.
Pardon me?
I haven't yet, no.
Okay, but you will, right?
Of course.
It's anonymous. I'm never going to know who fills them out, but of
course.
Carol, yes, we can count it.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris?
Yes.
Kirk?
Of course.
All right. All right, and the old adage is if we tell 2 people and you tell 2 people, that would be great. So you have family members in town, if you just make sure, follow up with them, that they get filled out. This is probably one of the most important things in the 20-some-odd years that I've been on the planning board that needs to be addressed. And I don't want to go to the special town meeting and have a quorum of 50 people or 60 or 70, and we have comments made after the fact that why did those 70 people get to decide the whole thing for the town? I am glad that you've moved the venue from the school to the Zecco Center. Hopefully, we will have standing room only, and that we will have a dialogue at that time to make sure that everybody understands what's going on. A question I wanted to have, if I can follow up, Forrest, with the grants that you received, I saw the signatures from the governor and the assistant governor, or whatever, vice governor, whatever she is. All right, deputy governor. Do those fall under, if we do not comply, that we cannot proceed moving forward with those types of grants?
They are state-funded grants.
Okay, so in the last 4 years, I heard you mention somewhere around $350,000. Okay, but that money is wiped right off the table. We can't even participate with that. Now, the fire chief was lucky. His is a federal grant, and I'm sure that there'll be other strings attached to things like that. But this is just one instance over the last 5 or 6 years of what I'm going to call free money. They use it, they get it, they apply it, do everything they can with it. So there are other things that we get. Robert, you had a grant coming in for some mapping or something. Was that a state grant?
Well, yes, so that was from CMRPC.
Okay, how much was that one worth that we're considering?
So it was actual, man hours.
Okay, but it's amounts of money that people just, you do not realize how far this will reach if we do not comply. Mm-hmm. And the last word I want everybody to understand about MBTA community is you need to understand the difference between compliance, when we have the meeting, that's going to be the word of the day, compliance versus building or development. This is a compliance vote only. And that's the buzzword around town, compliance. It does not mean that anything will happen. It may happen, and it allows the town to have some say in that process. If we do not comply, what happens is the state comes in and says, we're going to put it right there, and we have no say. Everything goes back to Boston, gets reviewed by the state agencies, and our hands are tied. So it's important for that. One other thing I wanted to bring up, I watched a meeting remote. I was out of town. And I saw that there were discussions about the thermostats and setting temperatures at the COA. Have we looked into Wi-Fi thermostats? Or is this something, have you talked,
We just talked about it today.
Right, because, it's incredible what they can do. So again, if somebody's using it tonight and they leave at 9:30, you have the ability to check, or somebody does, to make sure the heat's turned down.
Yeah, I
And
think
it's not a big reach to get them.
when we talked about it today, Cindy was concerned about having to be married to the thermostat, which I think she's already married, so she doesn't want to be married to a thermostat. I completely understand that. So the thought process was, even if we just get a programmable thermostat that sets on its own, and then have one of the plastic covers over it so that it can't even be changed, and have it set at temperatures that are, appropriate will prevent phrasing, but also comfortable, what have you, at the appropriate times, I think will alleviate that issue.
Okay, I mean, because I use them in my home, and I mean, they're short dollars, they're $100.
Yeah, they're not that
And they're
expensive.
Wi-Fi compatible, they're on your phone, so you can check if you can make sure the heat's on at home and things like that.
Yep.
And again, I don't know how many are in the building.
I think the only one we'd have to be concerned with is the dining room and activity room with the ones that were heavily
Okay, so there's
used.
two thermostats.
So, I mean, there's one in each room, but I think the ones that we would be concerned with mostly are the rooms that are used, which would be the two.
One thing I just wanted to mention about, if you're going to consider smart thermostats is that this is an old building with an old furnace, and they probably don't have C-wires. I don't know if you've ever had to install these on your own. So they probably don't have C-wires. So, a programmable thermostat will be inexpensive and I think accomplish the same task. Yeah.
All right. I think that's it. So thank you for your time.
Can I?
Thank you for recognizing Roberta.
Oh, she needs to get a Medal of Honor for this project.
Well, the work that both of you have done is very much appreciated. Julia?
Yeah, before we let Neil off the hook, I want to capitalize a little bit on the MBTA thing. I did have the pleasure of attending the in-person information session over at the COA, and I found it to be extremely well-attended, extremely informative. I thought there was an excellent dialogue among the residents who attended. Roberta did a fantastic job of putting it together, and the two presenters that were there did a really nice job of explaining it to the community. So I know there was a Zoom session as well. I'm hopeful that Zoom session wasn't recorded, so people can still go on and review that. But I also, Neil, would you tell everybody when the next the next meeting is? You have a public hearing coming up, right?
Well, all right. Yes, there is another information session next Tuesday at around 4 o'clock. I'm not sure where we're having that. Roberta just said get it on your calendar, so it's there. The public hearing for the public to weigh in with the planning board, because by law we have to hold a hearing. So we're going to have that on November 5th at 6 o'clock, and then the planning board meeting will follow that hearing, and we will make a recommendation at that point to come back to select board for the warrant article. The survey to be completed, you have until, I believe, the 27th or 28th of this month. So there's still time out there for all of you watching at home in Zoom land to go to the town webpage, click on the MBTA tab, and spend less than 2 minutes taking the survey. And your input is critical to this choice or decision.
And ideally, that information will be available at the time of the public hearing.
It will be. That's why we're closing it out then, so it can all be tabulated, and we can deal from fact rather than speculation.
Excellent.
To follow up a little bit on that, during the election day, we had a straw poll with pins and a map and whatever. We still have that data, but the sites have changed. So it's just, we're getting a quick sketch, I guess, of what people are thinking. And it will, I'm telling the residents right now, it will work in town, compliance-wise. We can comply very quickly. And then it's a question of, it's up to whoever in the near future, far future, whatever, future, decides that they may want to undertake the project.
And where is the public hearing being held?
Here.
Here?
Yes.
In the training room?
In the training room, the public safety complex. 6 o'clock is the hearing on the 5th, and 7 o'clock is or 6 o'clock until we close the hearing, and then immediately following, the board will take a vote to pass the warrant article to you folks.
Okay.
Okay?
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just want to make sure that we are crystal clear what Neil was saying. We have to be in compliance at the end of the year in order for Forrest to be able to keep going after grants like this 2 state grants that he announced to us tonight. Those state grants no longer are available to us if we are out of compliance. And as Neil said, we're not talking about building, we're talking about zoning. This may or may not ever happen. And as anybody who has seen the presentations, either remotely or in person, or saw the one here, there's a lot of input that the town has. and we want to
Yes,
make
if-
sure.
If we are compliant, we
Right.
have input.
Right, we can talk about the number of stories, we can talk about the size, there's
Everything.
parking, so
Open
many
space,
things that we
everything.
have the ability to control that we will lose if we are out of compliance. And that's really what we're talking about here. And if you read, it's hard because if you read in the press, the story of all the towns that are in compliance is boring. The stories that want to buck the state, those are exciting. So those are the ones that you read about in the press. It's a fool's errand, in my opinion, to go down that road.
It is.
We need to be in compliance. You know, we're talking $300,000 over the last 5 or 6 years in state grants, just one department.
Well, the Chapter 90 money will disappear too.
That's also state
I mean,
money.
and I believe this past year, we got a little over 300 grand in 1 year, and previous to that, it was somewhere around 250 or 260 the year before. So that money evaporates.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah,
have to then make that
It
DPW
affects all
budget.
state grants.
Yeah, so I just
It
wanted.
affects all state grants.
Yes.
So I just wanted to make sure that we emphasize that point so that, you know, if somebody happens to catch this and doesn't catch one of the information meetings, want that word out there because that is so important. All right, anybody else on that?
No, sir.
All right. So now we are going to be leaving our regular session, going into executive session to return to regular session only to adjourn. So I need a motion, please, and a second to enter into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor. Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Takes a couple minutes.
Mr. Bird, remember? We're just playing.